I know this video is super long and it doesn't include the sound tests, but use the timestamps below to skip to whichever part of the video you'd like to, because this video is basically 3 videos in one. It's an unboxing video, it's a build process video, at least for the PC version. For the aluminum version, check my older K3 review video. Your units will be similar to the prototype ones. And then it'll be a review video. So it's 3 videos in one. So this is probably going to be an hour, if not less. Please don't feel like you have to watch the entire thing. I know your time is very valuable, and don't feel like you have to watch the whole entire video. Anyways, let's get to it. Welcome, everybody, to another episode of The Good Keeper. Oh, wrong channel. No, I'm just joking. My name is Hubert the Mad, and you're probably wondering what I am doing here. I actually got the PC K3 from James yesterday. I was part of the private group buy run that James did for people in his Discord. So they were all prototypes, and then he did the public group buy, and he's actually fulfilling the public group buy right now. So because I got a pink version during the prototype private run, I thought about just skipping the public group buy until he said that he was going to have a PC version available. And because I like to try new things out, I like to help James, of course, with feedback and things like that. And because I feel like a PC K3 would be pretty fucking cool, I decided to buy it. So if I had not got the prototype private run pink variant, I probably would not have gotten this PC one, but it is what it is. So this video is an unboxing, basically a comparison between the prototype run and this PC run, this PC unit from the public run. And then, of course, I'm going to allude to sound tests and give my thoughts on it, basically like a review, an early review. The sound tests are not going to be part of this video because they're going to be like, I don't know, at least minimum 3 hours long, if not 6 or 9 or maybe even 12 hours long, because that's just what I do. So to check out the actual sound test video, check the description below. There's going to be a link there. Maybe I'll pop it up on the screen here as well. And the reason why I have my little Rode Wireless Go mic here instead of using my actual mics is because all my mics are set up to do sound tests, and I don't want to move them around to record this voiceover. So that's why I have a little fuzzy up here, and that's why I'm wearing the hat. And let's get to it with this K3 PC unit review, unboxing, video thingy. Let's go. James is a kind lad. He underdeclared, I think, everybody's piece K3. So those of us in the US don't have to pay tariffs, or there's less of a chance of paying tariffs and things like that. He also used a mix of Taiwanese Post, which hands off to USPS or your respective country's local carrier, and DHL. So he's a fucking legend. I thought that I was going to get it through EMS, Taiwan Post into USPS, but James remembered that I had such a fucking terrible situation with the Migra TKL and the QFRL 100 the last time he sent that stuff on behalf of Bloody to me through Taiwanese Post, because USPS is obviously slammed since it's the holidays, and he was kind enough to send this unit, my PC unit, through DHL. No tariffs, no fees, no upcharge in shipping, anything like that. So he's fucking awesome. So thank you, James. But let's get to the unboxing. So as you see here, we have new branding. James's name, Masjewerke, James Work. So this is very fancy because the prototype private run cases were just black. And I will admit that I do like the material of the older prototype cases more, just because they're softer and the handle has a little leather, I don't know, grabbing area. So it's nice and soft to the touch. But the con for that is, since it's super soft, I don't know if you can see that, it's prone to scratches and damage. Yes, it's a carrying case. Yes, it's supposed to be something that protects the actual keyboard inside. But I do understand why James went with another bag, because this one, as you see here, not only is branded with his name, but it's also not as soft to the touch. So I guess it's sturdier. He also has the little zippers branded with his butthole icon, butthole logo. Sorry, it's not butthole. It's not. Uh yeah, pretty standard hefty case. The handle is plastic. It doesn't have that leather of the older handle, but let's open it up. Let's see. Will we see James pop out of this? Oh, no. Okay. Now we'll see how sussy my setup for the Sony camera will be. Just to be safe, I'm just going to bring everything to the foreground here. So, what do we have here? James has included a 3.0 millimeter and a 2.8 millimeter O-ring in terms of length. So these O-rings sit on the top and bottom of the case. So he sent two lengths. Awesome. Thank you. How many football fields is 3 millimeters? How many washing machines for those of us in the US? Oh, shoot. He sent 2 daughter boards and JST cables. And let me try and show the face cam. You know what? Oh. It has the logo of our good friend, the Bloody Eyes, Bloody Easy. So 2 universal daughter boards with JST cable. Thank you. And here we have 4 adhesive feet and a couple of LEDs. So if you want to put the LED through the correct spot on the PCB and through the bottom housing of your switch, when you press, say, numlock, if you put it, not numlock, if you put it in caps lock and you press the caps lock, if you do it correctly, the caps lock will light up so you can see. That is as long as the switch housing is transparent or translucent enough to let the LED shine through, and as long as you make sure to put the correct feet of the LEDs in the correct places on the PCB. So that's cool. This was not included for the prototype run, so that's pretty neat. I know LEDs are super cheap, but still, it's a nice touch. Thank you, James. And look at this branding, ladies and gentlemen. James is getting fancy. Masjewerke K3. Very nice, very nice. Again, I'll shine it up to the face cam just in case I set up the Sony camera incorrectly. Let's open up this PCB. Oh, shoot. Wait a second. Oh, my God. Dude. He sent 2 PCBs. Holy fuck. Okay, thank you, dude. I'll open it up and I'll show you it a little better, but the Bloody Easy is also on this PCB as well as James's logo. But wow, thanks, dude. Yoju, if you're watching this, Yoju, I'm going to solder this one with Cherry MX1A Hyperglide Reds. So, oh, that's awesome. 2 PCBs? Oh, that's so great. All right, we'll open the PCBs later. So we'll put that to the side. Inside, let's see here. So we have a top compartment with a zipper. Very nice. We have a little divider here separating the top and bottom of the case. And look at all these goodies. All right, let's do stickers first. Got Beige. www.bigbeige.com/discord. All right, I definitely will go to that link. Hopefully it's safe for work. No, I'm sure it is. You're the L9 to my U9. Aha. Okay. With the Big Beige website as well. Masjewerke sticker. Boom. Oh man. Okay, so here are. Oh, okay. Please use the 3 millimeter O-rings on the back side of the board, top and bottom, And please use the 2.8 millimeter O-rings on the front side of the board, top and bottom. I mean, I guess. There we go. And we'll do that. Or we'll do that on camera later on when we actually build the board. A little Pokeball James sticker, Masjewerke. Boom. Oh man. So I know Oblotsky from Germany. He includes pickups like a biscuit, chocolate kind of candy with his orders. And this is not something that's new. An artisan maker that I recently bought for the very first time. Oh shoot, I forgot their name. Amano Studios. They sent Mexican candies with the artisan that I bought, which is awesome. So James sent 77 chocolates, chocolate and peanut butter. Oh, hell yeah. Awesome. Thank you. See, these little things are awesome. I'm not expecting goodies and things like that, but the fact that James adds these, so cute. So awesome. And what is this? So black pouch. Oh, what's in here? Oh. Is this a bag? Ooh, a brass daughter board cover? Wow. Brass daughter board cover. Can I reach it? Oh, hold on. The editor will fix this. I'm the editor. So for the prototype K3s, it was a PC daughter board cover. See, you see that? PC? So James has given us a brass one. Okay, that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I don't know if I'll be able to differentiate in terms of sound signature, but I think this is just a cool thing. So let's put that to the side, and let's get that to the actual keyboard. Ooh, okay. Look at oh my god. What the? Wow. Oh, snap. Okay, this is super cool. So, both the Migra TKL and the prototype K3, they came in these bags, these cloth bags. And like a little drawstring bag basically, right? And I love that because I've never had a board that came with that. Yes, I've had boards with hard cases, obviously, or I've had boards that have, microfiber cloths like Canon Keys boards. Yeah, I have that, but I've never had an actual board that came in its own drawstring bag. And not only does it come in a drawstring bag, but it has K3 on there. So James is getting fancy in terms of putting his logo or the board name and everything on there. Oh, that's cool. That's cool. I love it. And then, yeah, this is just the bottom of the case. Oh, baby. Here we go. PCK3. Ooh! Oh, what? Okay. Okay. She. So let's see. I think the camera is picking it up. So we have an external brass weight. We have a carbon fiber daughter board cover, and I'll show the face cam. Wow. Okay. And you see James's little logo here, the little butthole that's not a butthole logo. Ugh, there you go. Damn, dude. Yeah, I know obviously the brass external weight does give this a lot of heft, but in terms of, just the case and everything, this is heftier than I imagined. Dang. Oh, this is so sweet. K3 on the bottom. K3. Oh, this is cool. And yes, I know that PC, you can scratch it really easily, but hey. He also said that he's not 100% sure how well the PC units were going to end up. And he made that very clear. So, yeah, maybe we'll see some issues in terms of the machining or anything like that. For me personally, I don't see anything that sticks out in terms of errors or like scratches. Man. And it's nice to the touch. It's not completely smooth, but it's pretty damn smooth. It has that nice feel. It feels like that soft touch Back in Echo Go that Canon Keys sold that's out of stock. Oh man, that's so cool. And I think it looks like there's threaded inserts, so you won't crack the case, or it's harder to do so. Oh, and that's it. That's it. That's freaking awesome, man. So yeah, that's the unboxing. You get some goodies. You get O-rings for the top and bottom. You get two PCBs. At least I got two PCBs. I don't know if this is the case for every single person. So don't get mad at me if you did not get two PCBs. Maybe I just got the hookup. But the actual PCBs that came with these public run units, I'm going to try and save the sticker as much as possible. Oh, this is so cool. James, I love the fucking branding on the packaging. That's so cool. I mean, again, it's a little thing, or maybe it's not a little thing, but I like it. I like it. You're getting all sophisticated and fancy, my brothers. Okay. So, Gondo on a recent Good Keyboard Friends podcast stated that some people don't pay attention to what PCBs look like. I really like the PCBs in terms of looks because some PCBs that the Bloody Easy designs, they have raised and great fonts and things like that. This one, you can feel the engravings. So let me show it there. So the Bloody Easy, James, K3, QC Pass. I'll give it to the Sony camera as well. Hell yeah. And for those of us that may not remember where to insert the switches for a Sangan bottom row or a 6.25U bottom row, 1.25, 1.5, 1.25, 1.5. Nice. A lot of good compatibility here. K3 on the front. And as I was talking about, those LEDs you can put where the caps lock is. And you can also solder where there are, like I didn't show you. So there's two little nipple holes on the front, close to the arrow cluster. And you can solder the LEDs in the PCB to have shine through in those two holes. So that's pretty cool. Yeah, man. Oh, this is awesome. This is awesome. The K3 on the front is raised a little bit, the lettering. So I like that. That's cool, man. Let's see. So you got 6.25, 7U bottom row, step caps or non-step caps. You can split your right shift, or you don't have to split your right shift. Those of us know the lore about split right shift if you join the prototype private run for the K3. I guess there's ISO support. Yeah, yeah. And split backspace support. Let me see. I think there is. Cool. Well, yeah. There's split left shift support. Yeah. Well, we'll take a look later. But yeah, pretty good. Pretty good PCB. Green PCB. I love it. So that's what the PCBs look like for the public run versions. Oh, I also want to say that so the PC variants, they are different than the aluminum variants. So the aluminum variants of the public group buy, most of the units that people have been receiving, the build process is very similar, if not exactly the same, as when I built the prototype unit many months ago. So if you want to see a build process for your aluminum units, check out my video of the K3 prototype review. There's going to be a build process that's more similar to what you're going to be facing. The PC variants are different. They're not harder by any means, but the PC units have external weights instead of internal weights. And that's basically it. That's for the most part, that's basically it. But if you're building an aluminum version, it's not going to be the same as the PC version for some steps. You'll still be able to figure it out. James has created a very simple board to build, even though it sounds and looks amazing. But yeah, the number one thing that we should do before building the keyboard is to test the PCB. So for this PCB, I have taken the spare daughter board because it came with two daughter boards, And I have the K3 PCB that I'm going to use. I'm going to use it plateless. So I'm going to attach the universal daughter board JST cable into the PCB like so. Like that. Perfect. And then what I'm going to do is plug it into my computer, USB-C cable, plugged in. So we have Vile right now. We've connected the PCB to the JST cable to the daughter board. We've connected the daughter board to our computer with a USB-C cable, USB-C to USB-A or whatever. We have Vile open. We are going to go to a matrix tester. Actually, let's do layout first. So we're doing a 7U win keyless. It's fine. It's fine. We'll just make sure not to try the win keys here. I'm going to keep my backspace full. I'm not going to use ISO enter, and I'm going to keep my left shift and right shift full as well. Unlock the keyboard before testing. Oh no. Okay. So I'm going to use my tweezers. It's telling me to test F12, so let's hold down F12 till the progress bar fills up. All right, we're good. So the tweezers, I'm just going to start from the bottom row. And if I do this correctly and if the PCB works, all of the keys that you see on the screen are going to light up one after another. So let's do left control, skipping the middle because this is going to be win keyless. Left alt. Let's do the 7U spacebar. There we go. Then that key and that key. And then let's do the arrow keys. Great. We're going to do a full left shift. Z off camera. There's our F12. Print screen. Scroll lock. Pause. Perfect. Yes, if you want to try and make sure that the codes or the Windows keys for a Win key layout is there, you could do that as well. So yeah, pretty easy. Looks like everything works. Everything is perfect with the K3. Again, this should be the very first step after making sure that all of your contents in the keyboard kit is there. You're not missing anything. And then you check and test your PCB. Because if you don't test your PCB before you start soldering and there's an issue, chances are James or whoever runs the group by the vendor, they're not going to give you a replacement PCB because they don't know if you borked it or if it came borked, which is why it's always important to test your PCBs before you start soldering. For hot swap PCBs, I actually just put the switches in and then do the same thing, but without the tweezer, you're pressing down on the switch. Two things. I made a video or like a YouTube short about this a long time ago. But if you are doing a half plate or a plateless soldering build and the switches fall out, even if you use cherries, even if you use the fattest of Gateron switches, Gat Raws, in my experience, are super fat in terms of switch legs, pins. So when you stick them in the PCB, sometimes it's hard to take them out. But in this case, let's move to the Sony camera. Hopefully the Sony camera's on. So I have put my Cherry Hyperglide MX1A Reds modded on the K3 PCB. They're not soldered. I just put them in. Obviously, if you turn them around, there's a chance of them falling out. So there's two things that I found out that can help. What you're going to need are a bunch of rubber bands. I think Simon even talked about using photography clamps, but for me, rubber bands does the job. If you're lucky, maybe you have a spare plate laying around, not in relation to the actual keyboard that you're building, but so this is a TKL. K3 is a TKL. I have a Frog 8K plate. What you could do, if it fits here, you could put the plate on top of your switches and you rubber band everything together. So when you flip it over, the switches stay in there. Say you don't have a plate. Find a sturdy surface that you can rubber band the components to. So, in case you don't have one, James did a fucking fantastic job with the packaging of the K3, at least for the public run units, because the box that he used, the cardboard box, is super thick. So what I'm going to do off camera is I'm going to use a knife and I'm going to cut basically a part of cardboard that I can use to rubber band onto the front of the switches. So when I turn over the whole, all the components, the switches are not going to fall out. So I'm going to go over here. Oh yeah. So let's take some rubber bands, grabbing our little sandwich, flipping it over. Let's take a rubber band and rubber band one side. Make sure that the rubber band is big enough. And I know what you're thinking. Won't the rubber bands get in the way of when you're soldering? Yeah, but you move them. You move the rubber bands. Perfect. So look, you got our little makeshift soldering a plateless build contraption. Again, there are other ways to do it, you know, and as long as it works for you, that's totally fine. And hey, do you know what? You know what's great about soldering? One of the many things that's great about soldering. Say you solder in a switch crooked. Some people solder both switch legs. Some people only solder one. So say you solder one of the switches crooked. I'll show you what to do to fix it. And all you need is the soldering iron itself. Perfect. Let us get our soldering equipment out and we'll start soldering. While my soldering iron heats up, this is the game plan. I have my tip tinner here. I have a chisel tip that is around the same size as the soldering holes. I learned that if your tip is too small, you cannot transfer heat as well as a tip that is the right size. And if the tip is too big, you can damage the PCB. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go from top to bottom. So I'm going to go column wise. Usually I go row wise, but because we have the rubber bands, I'll go column wise. So I'm going to do the leftmost column, the rightmost, and then the next one, and then the next one. Move my rubber bands as I go because I don't want to solder the rubber bands. And by the time this, I'm going to speed this up and we're going to be done. And then I'm going to show you what happens if you solder something and you realize that it is crooked, like the switch is crooked. And through the magic of editing, we are completed. What do you do if a switch that you soldered in is crooked? Well, first of all, let's put some keycaps on this bad boy just to make sure none of them are crooked. I guarantee you there's at least a couple switches that are crooked. But I like to put the keycaps on because it helps you verify which switches are crooked and which are not. So I put the keycaps on, and let me take a look here. The 1 and the 3 are a bit crooked. 2 is fine. You just heat up the switch legs with one hand, and with the other hand, you just press in. So for example, I see that the 1 is a bit crooked. Ooh. 1 is a bit crooked, right? So what I do is I'd heat up the switch legs for the 1 key with one hand, and on the other hand, I press down. So I'm not going to turn on the iron yet. So I'm going to have the iron on, and I'm going to press down on the switch that's crooked, and I'm going to heat up the switch leg. And sometimes it makes a resounding click. Sometimes it doesn't. The 1 is actually pretty damn close, so it may not click, but you'll understand. Well, once you actually do it, you'll feel the switch being pressed in. some people only solder in one of the two switch legs or switch pins for plateless or half plate builds because they know that they're going to have to make a second go around and solder the second. Whatever strategy it works best for you or that you enjoy, go ahead and do it. At the end of the day, as long as as long as your PCB is correct and works, it's not broken, whatever uh, method you like to use, it's fine. So I'm not gonna hold it up here, but I'm gonna have the Sony camera watch me. So I'm pressing down. I'm pressing up, basically. I'm pressing up with my left hand on the one, and I'm reheating where I soldered in the one. Yep. Yep, I felt it. I felt it move a little bit. Let's take a look. Yep, the one has been fixed. So basically, that's what you do for any keycaps, any switches that you notice that are not flush. So let's do the same thing for the 3. 3 is 19. So I'm pressing up, and I'm reheating the solder joint. The pen, it's melting. Push it in. Yep, I feel it move. Perfect. Yeah, and that's basically what I do when I encounter any crooked switches. Let's turn off the soldering iron. Let us plug in the PCB to see if we did a perfect job in terms of making sure that all the switches are registering correctly. The moment of truth, the moment of truth where you figure out whether you soldered correctly and all the switches register, or you have to, you know, solder again. Okay, so now I have to press F12 once more, hold it down. So hey, F12 was soldered in correctly because I have to hold down F12 in order to unlock Vile, the matrix tester. All right, here we go. Oh, see, I remapped that to Windows, so the Windows popped up. Spacebar. This used to be one of the scariest things for me to do, because as a brand new solderer, when I first learned soldering, I was scared. I wasn't sure if I did it correctly. And a friend told me, hey, yeah, sure, maybe your soldering joints may not look the best, but as long as the keyboard works, the PCB works, and it didn't damage anything, you're fine, my brother. Hey, look at that. Look at that, ladies and gentlemen. So we soldered everything correctly. We made sure that all of the switches were flush and they're not crooked. Let's put this bad boy in the K3 and let's see how plateless Cherry MX1A Reds sound like. I know some of you may hate me for doing this, but I'd like to put the feet on first. Let's put the little feeties up front here. So, adhesives. If you run out of these or if you need more, you can get them pretty easily on Amazon or basically anywhere. So let's grab one of these with our tweezers. Let's place them in the 4 corners. Press down a bit. Again, hopefully I set up the Sony camera correctly so you see me doing this instead of just having to watch my ugly face throughout this entire uh, uh, part of the video. Okay. 3 feet. Now we do the 4th. Boom. Oops. There we go. So I attached the feet. 1, 2, 3, 4. Adhesive feet. Let's get our Gion / Nance screwdriver kit. Not sponsored by Gion. Although, Gion, if you want to sponsor me, please hit me up. No, I'm just joking. Let us see. Looks like it uses a hex bit. So Let's see. What size is this? H2.5. Too big. Where are my hex bits? H2.0. H2.0 hex bit. Let's see if it works. Yep, it fits. All right. Let's get a little catch-all tray here, and let's unscrew the case. By the way, while I'm unscrewing this, I just want to say, for those of you that have been watching the Good Keyboard Friends podcast, I really appreciate it. On behalf of James, Tangus, and Simon, and we all really appreciate it. I was thinking about a way to just hang out with people and friends that I had, as well as hear the stories from other people, other guests that we have on. And it's not like they have to be super clouded or famous or anything like that. No, just good people that have fun stories to share. We'll have them on the podcast. So we're gonna have a lot of awesome people in 2026. Those of you that I've reached out to that haven't been on the podcast, I'm not ignoring you. It's just that we're going to start scheduling mid-January or so. So just bear with me. But yeah, appreciate it, guys. The viewers, the listeners, you, the audience. It's to quote Simon, we're blowing up, but it's just fun, man. It's just fun to be able to talk with three of my very good friends and talk with other guests for an hour and a half, 2 hours, sometimes even three, and for you guys to make us part of your week. It's awesome, and we don't take it for granted, and we'll continue to keep doing the best we can. All right. So we unscrewed. There's a top case. There's the bottom case. I will take time later to thoroughly look through this in terms of seeing if there are any issues with the case or any of that. But I don't want to make this video super long. So if I find anything, I'll put it at the end when I talk about the pros and cons. But yeah, okay. So I guess we'll follow what the instructions say. Please use 3mm O-rings on the back side of the board, top and bottom. So what that means, the back side here. So this is the back side of the board. This is the front of the board. And I'll show it to you. Back side of the board, front of the board. So 3mm O-ring goes here. And I'll show it for the Sony camera. 3mm O-ring goes here. 2.8 goes the other place. Oh, you know what's funny? When I first was building the prototype K3, I forgot to put the O-rings in the bottoms of the cases, so they were only in the top case. Yeah. Definite skill issue. So, all right. So what I like to do, I don't know if it's correct or not. I like to get my O-ring, and this will have to be a Sony camera, so forgive me. I'm not gonna raise it to the face cam. And I like to put it in the channel, and I like to see how close it is and cut. Hey, there we go. I'll raise this one up to the face cam. There you go. So there's the first one. And let's continue. Make sure it's seated in the channel and sitting flush. Thank you, by the way, James, for providing more than enough of length for these O-rings. Oh, shoot. Okay, so that one I cut a little too long, so we'll just snip the butt. There we go. We told him, or at least I told him, that it would be nice to have a longer length of O-ring because the prototype run, I just used the exact amount that he sent us. So in case somebody had an issue, it's nice to have these extra length of O-ring. Okay, so there you go. So 3mm O-ring at the top there. And we're going to do the same for the top case. 3 millimeter, 2.8 millimeter. 3 millimeter, 2.8 millimeter. Why is there a difference? I don't know. I trust James. Big brain James. I'm just a monkey. I do what I'm told. So let's get the 3 millimeter. Push it in the channel. Push it. And again, this is PC, so be careful not to scratch it with your scissors or whatever you're using. Even fingernails. I had a friend who had a Molly, a PC Molly from the key.co, and he gave it away. He gave it to me to give away to a friend named McLovin, but he was saying how it was super easy to scratch because of just being PC. So we installed the O-rings, 3.0 millimeter on the top, 2.8 on the bottom. Same with the top case, 3.0 millimeter on the top, 2.8 on the bottom. I'm going to remove the daughterboard cover because, again, my camera did not catch it when I did that. So to remove the daughterboard covers, you use a T10 Torx bit. So let's remove the daughterboard covers, screws, daughterboard cover screws. Pretty cool how there's a little carbon fiber daughterboard plate as well. I like to stick with the brass just because, brass external weight and brass daughterboard cover. Muto posted on my Instagram post of the K3 how now there is brass outside instead of brass inside. And that is also a reference to what the James Discord talks about. And there's a little emoji. But yeah, so you take off the daughterboard cover, T10 Torx bit, and you have to use a third bit to remove the actual daughterboard screws. So in total, you need 3 different screwdriver bits or tool bits to disassemble and reassemble the entire board. For the case screws, you use a hex bit, H2.0 hex bit, to remove the case screws. To remove the daughterboard cover, you use a T10 Torx bit. And to remove the daughterboard screws themselves, you use a hex bit, H1.5 hex bit. So let's imagine that I did not install my daughterboard. I would use the 1.5 hex bit to remove the daughterboard screws. There you go. So you got 4 screws, 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'd remove those. I'd insert the daughterboard and I'd screw the daughterboard in. You would guide the JST cable through the opening. And now let's close the daughterboard cover back up. So switching to my T10 Torx bit, let's rescrew the daughterboard cover. I can't remember, but I wonder if there was even an option for a PC daughterboard cover. Or is the PC daughterboard cover what you with the aluminum units have? Probably, right? Just to make it look cool and look similar to the prototype unit. So yeah, we have the daughterboard cover back on. We have the daughterboard installed. All you do is connect the PCB with the other end of the JST cable. Again, this is a prototype K3 PCB and PC plate, just because I want to put this together and then run outside to take pictures instead of soldering, because it's around that time of day where pictures are real nice. So a little bit before sunset. I think you can do it a little bit after sunrise as well. But yeah, so obviously you would solder everything and you would connect your PCB to the JST cable, and you place your PCB inside the bottom case. There we go. So these little flaps of the PCB, they rest on where the O-ring channels are and where the O-rings are. Perfect. Let's put the top case on. Oh, so good. I'm going to place this on my lap just so I have a sturdy surface to screw in. So these longer screws, they go on the top rear of your unit, and the shorter screws go into the front. Obviously, you probably know that just because there's more, the longer screws fit in the back and they don't fit in the front. So let's put on our H1 point, was it 1.5? No, H2 hex bit. Screw in the case. No, H2. My bad. Let's put in our H2 screw. Let's put in our H2 hex bit and let's screw the cases together. And there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. A very easy way to build the K3. Again, even though the PC and the aluminum versions may differ, the build process is pretty much the same. Very simple build process. James did a great job designing a simple looking board and a simple to put together board, but a board that sounds and looks amazing, in my opinion. Again, my opinion. Oh my goodness. All right. And there you go. That is the build guide for the PC version. If you have the aluminum version, it's going to be very similar, if not the same, as my K3 prototype unit review, because that was an aluminum version. So check out that video up here or up there. I'll have it linked up. I'll have it popping up on the screen if you want to see the build process there. But it's pretty simple, ladies and gentlemen. You'll be able to figure it out without needing a build guide. This is just if you want to watch me build it. We've got the unboxing done. We've got the build guide done, or the build process for the PC done. Let's get to the actual review. I'm recording this after I completed the sound test video. Basically, I got the PC K3 on Wednesday during the day, or Thursday, Wednesday, one of the days. And after work, I started recording immediately, went up to midnight or 1 a.m. It was Thursday. So I recorded a couple hours on Thursday, and then I recorded all day on Friday, and then I recorded basically up until 5 p.m. Saturday. Right now it is 5:06 p.m. So I legit just finished recording the sound test. I'm gonna get to work editing. It's gonna take a week or two, just because of the holidays and things like that. I'm gonna try as hard as I can to get the sound test videos. There's going to be two of them, one with the mic configuration format and one with the configuration format. So one video stays with one specific mic through all the configurations. One video sticks with one configuration, switching mics, so on and so forth. The mic that sounds the most accurate to me are the two small diaphragm condenser Lewitt mics. No, not Lewitt mics. Oh, fuck. It's been a long-ass day. I'm sorry. I sold the Lewitt mics, the small diaphragm condenser CM4s. So those are the most accurate in terms of capturing what I hear in real life. But again, I just want to let you know that not all sound tests are 100% accurate. Just because I have a different setup. For example, if I'm typing on a plastic table that I type on for work, it sounds different than my actual table, my solid wooden desk table. And then you have desk mats, and then you have sound room acoustics, different types of mics, making sure that some of the mics are not connected to the typing desk, so on and so forth. So the best that a sound test person can do is be true and be truthful to what they're doing. I never say that my sound tests are 100% accurate. I know there's going to be some issues, but for me, I have made it so without any sort of editing besides boosting the volume a little bit, I have made it so what the sound test sounds like with the CM4 mics is as close as possible to what I'm hearing in real life. So that's that. But yeah, I just finished the sound test. Wow. What an amazing board. The K3 aluminum and the K3 PCR. what I'm going to do now, before I get into the pros and cons, is I'm going to do the review. Well, actually, before the review, I'm going to do a comparison. So we have the PC K3 here, and I've opened the aluminum prototype private run K3. The prototype private run K3, the pink aluminum is not the same pink as the public run, but it's pretty close. And I have it opened because the first thing I want to specifically go over. Let's see, let me move my mouse here. Top cases. There we go. There we go. Okay. So comparison real quick. As you can see, this is the prototype run, private run pink aluminum board, pink aluminum case. It has an internal weight. James gave us 2 internal weights for those that joined the prototype private run, a brass internal weight and a PC internal weight. You can see that the channels are also, I wouldn't say they're not correctly sized, but you can see the O-rings kind of not necessarily staying in the channels. It's very easy for me to remove the O-rings, right? So the same goes with the top case as well. And it says, look, round 0 prototype. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, round 0 prototype. But yeah, so the channels. So the difference between the aluminum prototype / private run and public group buy aluminum cases are that your internal weights, that your weights are internal. Jesus Christ. Yeah, I'm sorry. It's been a long day. So your weights are internal, brass or PC. The public run PC case variants, your weight is external. Internal weight, external weight. And also, you see how easy it is to move the O-rings and for them to fall out for the prototype run. For the PC version, at least, they are snug. They are so snug. It's very easy to open and close the case without losing your O-ring, as opposed to this. Because this is very easy, right? It's the bottom case. But when you flip this bad boy over, these O-rings want to jump out from the top case, as opposed to the PC here. Very snug. I'm not sure if the public run aluminum cases are also as snug in terms of channel and O-ring fit compared to the Proto Run. So yeah, let's see what else. Obviously, there are a few internal design differences. This is more so for the PC variant. I have not seen. I have not looked at the pictures of the aluminum public run variants. So I'll take a look afterwards. But I don't know if your guys' internals look like this or look like the PC ones. But anyways, that's the big difference for sure. And obviously the prototype run, there's space for top mounting. But we told James to remove the top mounting just to save some money, and because the gasket mount was fantastic. So that's the first difference. The second difference is there is no. I'm sorry that I keep calling it a butthole, but there is no butthole engraving above the USB port. And for the PC version, there is a little button. Where is it? Oh, actually, it's on the top case, huh? Yeah, it's on the top case. My mistake. It's on the top case there. And it's not on the top case of the Proto Run. So it's nice. It's it's James's logo, but it's not super flashy, not in your face. I love it. Obviously the weight. So the weight is different. I'm going to get a scale later off camera, and I'm going to weigh both of these fully built, but obviously the PC is going to be lighter than the aluminum. The aluminum is nice and hefty. Other differences between the prototype run and the public runs, As I stated before, the cases. So we had soft touch cases for the prototype private runs, and the public run. Um, the cases are not soft touch, but I think they're more durable. Plus, you have the logo, James's logo, on a lot of things for the public run, which is awesome. Nice additions. Aesthetics wise, besides the internals, and we're getting to the review now. Aesthetics wise, besides the internals, they're both relatively similar externally. Let me close this up here. Of that, I don't know if you can see it. The separation between the top and bottom case, it's a lot lower. Well, not a lot lower, but it's a little lower on the Proto run as compared to the public run PC units. But the sides are very similar. Yeah, they're basically the same. The back's basically the same. It's a very somewhat simple looking design, which is what James intended. So aesthetics wise, pretty cool, pretty cool. I love the prototype one, and I also love the public run one. Um, yeah, and the pink is so stunning. I know that the public run pink is a little different than the private run pink, but it's so stunning, man. Once we get pink alert in, James said it's not going to 100% match pink to pink, but man, I'm going to use pink alert for the PC variant. So aesthetics wise, yeah, pretty cool. Not much of a difference externally. Internally, there is a bit of a difference from the PC unit and the prototype private run aluminum unit. Feel. Wow, let me just show you. And you'll be able to see this in the sound test videos as well. But so I'll just show you. Yeah, you do have a bit of softness in terms of typing feel. You kind of have to press hard to really notice it. Yeah, I think it is a little bit softer. I think there's a bit more give. You still have to press pretty hard to really have a noticeable soft typing feel, but it's a very comfortable typing feel. Basically, maybe a little softer for the PC unit, but nothing nothing that I'd be able to 100% um, stake my claim to. Maybe it's just because PC itself it seems softer, and in my mind, it's a little bit softer of a typing feel, but both are pretty. They're not stiff and they're not trampoliny or super bouncy. I've had a bad experience with the JRIS Round 1.2 millimeter flex cut plateless configuration that I tried. That was horrible. It was like typing on a trampoline, couldn't get anything done. This is a beautiful typing feel, a little bit on the soft side, but not anything too crazy. So we have aesthetics, we have typing feel, sound, the third of the keyboard triangle. Oh my goodness. So for me, the most important thing is aesthetics for me in the keyboard triangle. And then second is sound. And bringing up the rear is typing feel, although they can change sound and typing feel. Um, wow. So I 1,000,000% agree with James that these boards were designed to be used with Cherry MX Browns. Even though I'm somewhat of a linear enjoyer more so than a tactile enjoyer, oh my goodness. The sound is absolutely insane, in my opinion. In my opinion, I think you should always use Cherry MX Browns for the K3. You can obviously try other things, like thanks to Yoju, a good keyboard friend and a good friend in general. Thanks to Yoju, one of the K3 PCBs, one of the two that I got, I soldered in Cherry MX Reds linears. And it was good, sound wise. It was good. It was better than I expected, actually. I really love it with uh JC Studio or Leak Bros. The space bar and backspace and alphas sound really good with JCS. GMK also sounded good. DCS I wasn't the biggest fan of for the plateless Cherry MX Reds. Same with CRP, round 5 at least. But yeah, JCS Arabic is what I used. It sounded pretty good. But man, when I put in the Cherry MX Browns, both in the prototype case and in the PC case. Oh my God, no comparison. My favorite sound signature with the PC case and with the aluminum prototype / private run aluminum case, my favorite sound, Cherry MX Browns. So the reason why James says, so I understand why James said that these boards were designed to be used with Cherry MX Browns. They sound so good, so good. And hopefully you'll hear it in the sound test. I'd venture to say that I think Cherry MX Brown's plateless sounds a little bit better in the PC case. Yeah. I'm going to have to daily this for many months like I did with the aluminum pink private prototype run case. But it sounds damn good with Cherry MX Browns and DCS in the PC case. Plateless Cherry MX Browns. So fantastic job, James. In terms of resonance, James wanted there to be a little bit of resonance. He didn't want the sound to be deadened, dampened, or anything like that. It's not crazy resonant, but there's a reason why I said that even if you chose the internal PC weight for the group I run, for the public group I run, you're still going to have a great experience versus the brass. It just sounds good. It's a little bit of resonance. It's supposed to have a little bit of resonance. I really like it, man. So sound is on point. Again, if we compare, it's hard to do a one-to-one comparison, right? Because the PC units have an external brass weight. The Alu units have either an internal PC or brass weight. So it's not really an apples to apples comparison. But I'm just saying the way that the PC is designed, the way that the aluminum is designed, I think the PC sounds a little bit better when you use plateless Cherry MX Browns. I think. Maybe it's because it's a new thing, I just got the PC case, but we'll see. We'll see in 6, 7, 8 months when I do an update review. But overall, I love the sound. I agree with James. Use Cherry MX Browns. But at the end of the day, if you're happy with whatever switch you decide, even if it's not Cherry MX Browns, hey, that's all that matters. What matters the most is you're happy and you didn't put yourself in a bad financial situation. And that's my opinion, at least. So for the price I paid for this, $460 for an MOQ of 5 for the PC units versus the 350, 360 for the aluminum units. I would say for someone that wanted something tried and true, classic, and is a banger, you want to know that you're getting a fantastic board. You don't have to worry about scratching it because PC can scratch. I would go with the aluminum because the pink is beautiful and the other colors as well, but the pink is amazing, really amazing. If you're somebody that wants to be a little bit experimental, because again, James said that the PC cases were a bit experimental. I saw zero flaws, no flaws whatsoever, no machining marks, no warping, no nicks, no scratches, nothing from these PC cases. But obviously, PC is more expensive because it's harder to machine and there's more risk of issues. But I saw zero issues. For $100 more, I think given where James is right now, if you are an adventurous person and you want to give your feedback in terms of PC, just in case James makes his future designs have an Alu and a PC variant, I think go with the PC. If you can afford the extra $100, obviously the group buy has ended, but hey, maybe there'll be more rounds of the K3. So if you could only pick one, I would say aluminum. But if you want to be experimental, definitely the PC. The PC is really shocking to me in terms of the heft, even though obviously much of it is the brass external weight. I really am shocked about how good the PC sounds with Cherry MX Browns. And overall, if you understand the issue with PC, which is your fingernails can stretch it. If you knock it on something, there'll be a scratch. If you understand that, no issues with the PC, no issues at all. And hey, for someone like me, who's a dumbass, and sometimes when I wear my house shoes and my robe, and I touch a keyboard and I shock the keyboard and it kills the PC case, no issues with that. So, and the fact that I get to help James. James has not made a PC case of any other board. So I love to give my thoughts and say, hey, this is great. Hey, this is not great. It feels really nice to to have something that hasn't been done before. I hope the 818 and the 880 are 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 on their way to eventually being run either as a private group buy or on Blackdrop, something like that. But yeah, I'm very happy that I have two variants. I was never going to get two aluminums, not because the aluminums weren't great, but because I already had a pink aluminum variant. The PC was what made me want to buy into the group buy. Um, yeah. So overall, love this board for 460 for the PC or 350, 360 for aluminum. I think it's great considering the MOQ, considering the love and care that James put into these boards, the design, how close knit the James cord is. We talk to other K3 enjoyers. We have a good time. It still has the feeling of closeness and togetherness and a small keyboard designer feel, even though James is blowing up. So I love it. We want nothing but the best for our good friend James. Um, he's a fantastic designer. He's an awesome human being. He's someone that I'm proud to call my friend. Uh, he didn't tell me to make these videos. He didn't tell me what to say. These are all my opinions and my own thoughts. Uh, I bought everything with my own money, and I'm very happy. 460 PC variant, I love it. The 360 prototype private run variant, I love it. The K3 is fucking awesome. MX Browns, plateless. Oh, so good. And if you want to experiment with a plate, James said that he'll release the plate files, but I don't think you have to try it with a plate. You're welcome to, obviously, right? You're welcome to try it with a plate, but it's so damn good with Cherry MX Browns plateless. Oh, it's amazing. Anyways, this is a great board. I'm happy to have bought the prototype run pink aluminum variant. I'm happy to have bought the PC variant. I think the prices were fair. James was very responsive and he gave a lot of updates in his Discord. He's a great dude. And yeah, this was a great board and I'm very happy with the PC. I'm going to continue to daily it, even though I've typed on it for so many hours on the sound test. It's so great. Thank you, James. Thank you, The Bloody Easy. Thank you to everybody that had a hand in making this a reality. For everybody that bought a unit, either private run or prototype unit or public group buy unit, thank you. You all are the reason that James is able to make boards. In this day and age, there's nothing wrong with buying a China board or a board that sells hundreds or thousands of MOQs, of MOQ, a board that is trying to be as cheap as possible. But also, please consider supporting the smaller designers, the ones that have the passion projects like this, and support them because we'd love for James to be to sell hundreds and hundreds of boards, right? Um, so it's great to support projects that you believe in. It's great to do so while being financially responsible. And remember, doesn't matter what our preferences are. At the end of the day, we all enjoy the keyboard hobby together. We're all part of the same community. At the end of the day, as long as you enjoy your board, as long as you're financially responsible, that's all. That's all that matters. And we stick together, we communicate. Good keyboard friends become good friends, and then all of a sudden you're talking about other things than just keyboards, like like breast milk with Cipulot. Anyways, that's the end of this video. I'm still editing the sound test videos, so please give me a couple more weeks of time. But yeah, James knocked it out of the park with this, regardless of PC or aluminum variant. Cherry MX Browns plateless definitely is the play. With that, thanks for watching. I love you all, and see you next time.